Guys, we're going to start working on level 3 bear hugs again. Now we're adding in a lift. So situation got even worse. We got picked up off of our feet off the ground. So bear hug from the front with our arms caught. And bear hug from the front, arms free with a lift. So, problem here, we got lifted up in the air. We need to find ourselves back on the ground as quickly as possible. I'm going to use the attacker as my base to send a counterattack. So what I'm going to try to do is stabilize myself and press my weight into their body as they're lifting me up. My arms are free, my arms are outside around his. I'm going to try to stabilize my heels of my palms on their hips, on their body somewhere. I'm also going to take one leg and drive my quad, pressing my hip forward into their body to put resistance into them. My opposite leg is going to load as far back behind me as possible to send a counterattack here to get them to loosen up and drop me on the ground. If my arms are caught, I can try to shift my hands into their hips to, again, stabilize as much as possible, and I'm still using that one leg. I'm going to drive my hip and my quad, as much contact as possible into them. Let's just look at that real quick here. So Zach picked me up. I want one leg to drive into him as much as possible. My hands are going to stabilize against their body as much as possible. Again, as we do that, let's come this side, please. Our opposite leg is going to load as far away as possible from us to get as much momentum coming back into this knee strike to convince them to let go of you and drop you on the ground. Once we end up back on the ground, whether arms free or arms caught, it's back to the basics of a bear hug. I'm based wide and stable, my center of gravity is low, and I can get into more combatives and finish my fight from there. So one thing you can do to work on this is basically a single leg deadlift, right? You're gonna balance on one leg, drive your heel back as far as possible behind you, try to create a T with your body, then bring that knee forward for your counterattack strike, right? Balance on one leg, drive your heel back as far as possible. Pull that knee forward with good momentum to find that groin strike, soft tissue of the stomach, wherever you hit that attacker, right? Hopefully that will convince them to drop you to the ground. So you have to be prepared to land on your feet, right? You're smashing them in the groin, they're probably gonna let go. You need to be ready to land on those feet. If you want to work against the ground with this, you can just lie on your stomach, driving that one hip, that one quad into the floor, driving your opposite hip up and away, and loading that knee as high into the sky as possible. Boom, softly, lightly, bringing that knee back down to the ground for your counterattack. But feel that pressure of the one leg driving into the floor, while the other hip rises off a little bit and loads that counterattack, right? Important thing is pressing that weight into their body to stabilize yourself as much as possible and loading that counterattack, getting that strike, getting yourself back on the ground. Once you get back on the ground, again, like as we mentioned, it's just a regular fight again. Boom, I'm here, I strike, free my arms if they're caught, get into my fight, finish my fight. If you don't have a partner to work with at home, kind of hard to get lifted up here. So you can just work on, from your feet, work that single leg deadlift, drop down, finish your fight with your combative shadow box there, right? Bear hug from the front with a lift.